Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for joining tonight. So we've got some guests on tonight. I have a guest co-host. Megan is back to help me co-host. She recommended someone from the community from that she introduced me to. Actually, we were following each other already on LinkedIn, but Saman is going to be joining us tonight and kind of sharing her journey and story. And so it's awesome to have Megan joining me tonight as the my guest co-host. So hope everyone is doing well and enjoying all the activities going on with like the Try Hack Me Advent of Cyber. I did a walkthrough for that recently, so that was a lot of fun, and so it's really cool to see all the different challenges and stuff they come out with, and all the different walkthroughs people have done for the Advent of Cyber. So that was so. I hope you're enjoying that. I hope you're getting some good studying in. Because yeah, so it's getting down towards the end of the year, and so for me, I'm just kind of ready for things to kind of slow down a little bit. Spoke at my last well, not quite my last conference of the year. Spoke at a conference last week, and then this weekend I'm speaking at the Red Team conference out of India. So that's coming up this weekend. So let me go ahead and bring on my co-host. Hey, Megan.
Hey, how are you doing, Phil? How's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for joining.
Doing very well. Glad to be here with you and happy almost end of the year. It's hard to believe that this year is almost over.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gone by really fast. It's amazing.
Yeah, it truly is. Yeah. Yeah, it's been great to see how many different things you've been doing, especially leading towards the end of the year. I saw that you did that walkthrough that you were just mentioning.
Oh, thanks. That was a lot of fun. Reached out to me about that, and so that was an honor to get to do that, to be among some of the other people that were doing that. So that's a lot of fun. So yeah, it really got me thinking more about doing that kind of stuff, trying to think how to change things I'm doing and add things to what I'm doing and doing things different. So what's new with you?
I'm always trying to kind of keep things interesting and busy, and I'm currently working on a couple of things for next year. Working on a study that should come out for cloud security and how people use data. It should come out in about end of quarter one. So that should be hopefully some interesting findings. Don't know yet because it's in the very beginning stages of that. So, in the initial data gathering. So, I have to find out what the analysis will say for that. And then we'll be working on a capture the flag that I'll be developing. So, that will be a new challenge for me. I've never written a capture the flag challenge before. So, I'll be working with SANS to do that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so really excited about that. And then I'll be speaking at the Cyber Threat Intel SANS Summit in January as well. So I'm
Uh,
looking forward to that.
that's cool. Congrats on that.
Thank you. So got a few different things in the pipeline coming up for next year. For closing out this year, though, pretty much not too much going on because we only really have 2 weeks left. So the rest of this year is pretty quiet for me. But as we know, the rest of this year is not that quiet. So I'm very thankful for all the work that everyone is doing. I've been writing threat intel on the things that have been happening this week. But there's a lot that's going on right now for sure.
Yeah, yeah. The log 4J that's been all over the place, and there's been some really
Yes.
cool stuff come out. John Hammond did a room or a walkthrough for Try Hack Me, and then Pentester Lab came out with a couple of challenges in there. So that's one of the things that I really like about Pentester Lab is that when you're finding good content, good courses and stuff, you want stuff that's current. And not only is that, you don't get much current than something that just came out within the past week or so. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like, that literally just happened. And then, oh, hey, we have something on this, right? It's like you got that. And then one of the other things that we've been doing some writing about is the Chronos that's happening this week as well. So that's been another thing that's been keeping people busy, as that's a current, ongoing, developing story. So
Hmm,
lot going on to carry out the year. So yeah.
that's kind of interesting because something with Kronos I recently saw that was affected by that. Didn't really realize that that was part of that. So very interesting. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's been
Yeah, there's a lot tied into that. Yeah.
yeah, there's like people's time clock softwares and stuff that are tied into it.
Time clocks, and within time clocks, of course, people's pay, and they think that it's going to be tied up for quite a while, unfortunately. So yeah,
Okay, I'm just now kind of saw something about Kronos. Was it actually breached, or is it the vulnerability that exists?
they're still investigating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see. Yep, very interesting. So we got our guest that should be joining us here soon. But but yeah, it's cool to have you on. We'll have to do this more frequently and stuff. I like want to look to do things different, and it's more fun when you have people on your show than by yourself. And when you're by yourself, it's not as much fun. You have to do depending on the number of people. You know, when I'm by myself, I have to do twice the talking. So
yeah, it's nice to get into a conversation and everything. Yeah,
yeah, and thanks for the recommendation. Always open for recommendations. Kind of actually been with the podcast. I've been kind of slowing down for that. I've got my recordings done to last till to give me episodes up until the first week in January. So that way I kind of don't have to worry about recording anything during the holidays. Want to try to slow down just a little bit and rest because conference stuff and all the other things starting to get kind of burnt out. So I wanted to kind of make December slower. And so far it'll finally start slowing down after this week.
that's good. Yeah, it's good to kind of take that time and relax and make sure that you are recharging yourself so that you can make sure that you're all set as well. So, are there any things that you're looking forward to in the next couple weeks?
The last week of the month, I'm looking forward to being off and not having to do anything at all. So, not really much, really, just kind of trying to wind things down for the year.
Nice. And then, are there any things that for next year that you're like really particularly looking forward to for like presentations or conferences or just like a professional development side of things?
Yeah, I'm doing a talk at RSA in February, so I'm looking forward to that. And it's going to be in person. So, I look forward to another out of because I haven't been to out of state conferences yet, just three local ones. I like the in person stuff again. And then the national level conferences, or in that case, some people come in internationally, whatever is going to be allowed, due to the pandemic, but always getting to meet people out of state is always a lot of fun. You know, locally, there's just not quite as many people, but out of state and global type conferences, it's a lot more fun. So it looks like we got our guest joining us. Hey, welcome.
Hi, Philip. Hi, Megan. I am really,
Hi.
really sorry. There's just technology doesn't support at times. So yeah, how are you guys?
Not a problem. Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
no
We
worries.
kind of got the show kicked off a little bit, so your timing was actually perfect. So so
Perfect,
welcome.
perfect.
So why don't you
Thank you so much.
tell so why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do.
Okay, perfect. So hello everyone, and for me it's really early here. So good morning everyone, and good evening and to all. My name is Saman Fatima, and I'm joining from India. Uh, I am a I am a data engineer with the Macquarie Group. It's been just 3 months that I have switched roles, but before that, I was a DevOps engineer. It's been total around 5 years that I've been serving into this industry of cybersecurity. Previously, I was working as an IAM consultant, where majorly job responsibilities were to handle the identities and access management of different clients. And that was a great experience when I learned the importance of PI data, identity, access, and everything. And eventually, then I switched to be a data engineer now, which is all the more exciting, where I get to learn more about data. It's just I reversed my roles, and first I played along with the identities and accesses, and now I'm more on analyzing data, making it more crisp, and sending it to correct channels for it to be used properly. So just understanding the importance of data more. And apart from that, I am a very keen learner, and to be putting into correct words, I'm just very enthusiastic with anything that comes into cyber. So that becomes very pushing for me to learn anything. And that is why I have been part of a lot of communities. I am leading one, so that gives me great push that along with the technical knowledge that you hold, communities also groom you in different ways, be it your leadership skills, or how to speak at different conferences, or anything, just the networking portion that really improves. So that also pretty much is something that I've learned so far in these years. So that's about me.
So, what communities are you leading and participating in?
Okay. So I started in 2017 with being, part of communities. I was the New Delhi chapter lead for InfoSec Girls. From that, the car went on with being part of different communities. Then I became the committee member for OWASP VIA, that's Women in AppSec. So that's the main portion where we talk about more on diversity and inclusion, and different sessions we have done so far. Have done a lot of hackathon on governance and risk topics as well. Then moving forward, I'm also the member of Women in Cybersecurity, where they also hold a lot of platforms for mentorships or different sessions. There was just one session that I remember. It was a career fair, and Nike came down, and it was really a great experience that the community offered for everyone to actually interact with the actual team of Nike. So that was a great experience. And talking about the community that I'm leading is Breaking Barriers Women in Cybersecurity. And that's something very close to our heart. So two of my colleagues, Astha and Shruti Rupa, we started up with this community with the notion that we have a lot of women now in cyber. So it's just the women already in cyber, and the women trying to enter into cyber, they need to get that push for leadership and a lot of other things which they lack at times. So be it job opportunities, or how to speak at different conferences, or how they can actually get those opportunities which somewhere down the line doesn't comes down. It's something we make sure that things get like the platforms are available to women, and they can be more visible. They can get more opportunities in those ways. So yeah.
That's good. Those are some great organizations to be involved with. Very good.
Thank you.
Yep. And you and I share some of those organizations in common. And you actually, like you stated, Saman, like you're the leader of one of those organizations. So what would you say like are some of the initiatives that you have found have led you to become even more invested and involved in cybersecurity just by being involved in those organizations? Do you think it's like InfoSec girls and seeing young women, or do you think it's like seeing women and seeing how maybe their lives are impacted, or what do you think is that thing that makes the difference for you?
Thanks for that question, Megan. But I just consider that both the parties get impacted, like including me and the person I'm helping, or is in picture, it's somewhere down the line gets me more satisfied. So uh like we've started this community like this January 2021, and it has been so far a great journey. And I just want to mention that that thought has never come down to my mind ever. But when I see people getting opportunities, when I see people getting excelling somewhere, and if the community has somewhere down the line helped them, I just feel that that's the greatest win one can actually get out of. And plus, with leading a community and being part of different communities as members as well, gives you a great level of confidence that yes, you can do it. Be it like, just for an example, I am the mentor and mentee for both. I'm both for the mentorship program offered by Women in Cybersecurity. So it's more or less like I am learning, but I am also giving out to other people as well. So that's the major portion I have learned through these years, that what you do, you have to give back to the community, and somewhere down the line it just comes back to you. That seems something very abstract, but I have seen it, uh been, I have felt it all across these years, that I have been part of a lot of different communities, did a lot of sessions, attended a lot of sessions. So that's the learning that comes down from there, and the impact is really great there.
Yeah, so we had a comment from Sage said, "Way to represent and be the change." So do you see
That's
from so do you see from being your involved in these communities and stuff? Have you really seen more career opportunities? Does it seem to really help your career being involved?
Yes, absolutely. I have been a part of like been speakers for conferences very recently, like this year, few months back. Previously, I used to try, but there were some things missing. There were, be it a lot of issues on the abstract end, or be it on the topic end, but the correct guidance, the correct mentorship that I got from the industry as well, how to represent myself, how to represent how I want to show it to other people, what is my learning, what is my research, is something, that's the way, you represent, you change, and you be the change. Then you somewhere down the line change yourself for better, like groom yourself for better, and then be the change. So yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to build confidence. When you go out and speak at some of these conferences, you just don't, sometimes I know I had a lot of problems with confidence or imposter syndrome, and then getting the feedback from people, it's kind of a good way to know that you're kind of going in the right direction. Uh, so we
Correct.
so we have Davin Jackson just joined us. So welcome, Davin.
I
So
love that
Dav,
sentiment. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
yeah. So Davin had the walkthrough of the day for Try Hack Me.
Excellent.
Yeah. Try Hack Me seems really amazing, and it has been keeping me on my toes every day. So yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. If you could continue with that thought, Megan.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I love the idea around thinking about what you might how you might improve for, maybe for example, like presenting at a conference, someone. So you're saying like, you know, you at first were trying to present at conferences and had abstracts, but maybe weren't getting accepted. And then after mentorship and feedback, then you were. And so now you are getting accepted, and now you're also a mentor. So I can just imagine how then that trickles down, and then now you're giving that to others, right? So now you're then spreading that and sharing that information to others, and so then it becomes this like pay it forward. So I if you could share like a little bit about how maybe you had mentors, they shared with you, and then now what you've learned you've shared with others.
Yeah. Um, So that's something I started up in 2017 when I was pretty much new to this industry, and I knew nothing like the different domains spread across cybersecurity. I wasn't aware about any of them. You asked me then what is app security, I would not have, just would have spelled the words. That's the only I remembered that time. But eventually I came across a lot of like-minded people in the industry, and they just gave me great advices to actually take forward my learning and how can I invest more. So they made me understand what the conferences themes are, what do they expect, how should you write it. There are certain structurings for it as well. And later there came a very big advice that if you want to inculcate and choose any one domain from the cyber end, just try to learn everything, make videos of it, and just try to keep your self learning going on and on and on. And this way I started learning each and every topic, each and every domain, not in very depth, but at least just to get an idea what they actually offer, what it is about, and how can I choose any one area and be more active in that particular portion and learn more there. Because one cannot learn everything, but it's just one they can excel on with. So eventually I learned a lot of it, and now I have a lot of knowledge about each and every domain. Not a lot of, but yes, a substantial amount of knowledge that still I can present myself somewhere, try to choose a topic out of the list of topics and prepare it for myself. And then came the tougher part of writing abstracts, or submitting your say of what you want to present. And that just gets like what you see in your abstract, what you want to present, is somewhere down the line is understood by the person on the other end as well, and they understand the importance of it. So yes, there were a lot of rejections, but eventually there came acceptances as well. Once and for all, I wrote a lot of abstracts, groomed my writing a lot. Then eventually with years it got better. So that's the thing, that only lied with me was that I kept on trying every year, and that somewhere down the line got me successful. So yeah.
And I love that too, that, there were lots of, you know, there were lots of tries, right? Like there was success, but there were also times when there were rejections. And we've all
Yes.
had that, right? Like I've had, like, it was, I presented at conferences many times, but I've also had many times, even this week, I had a time when I was rejected from a conference actually. But that doesn't mean I won't try again. And Philip, I know you've
Yep.
also had times, probably even this
Yeah.
year, actually, and you
A
present
lot.
all the time.
Yeah.
I'm certain, I'm
Yes.
certain you had a time at least once this year that you were rejected from a conference.
It's usually quite it's probably more often than you would think because I submit a lot of talks, and one of my goals in 2022 is to get one of the conferences in Canada to accept one of my talks because it's I've never had one accepted yet. So yeah, it takes a lot of attempts, and for people just to keep at it, don't get discouraged, because I mean it's just like anything else. It takes so many tries before you do it. Then once you get out there, then you build relationships, and it's easier to get into certain conferences, but you still will have some challenges for new conferences and stuff. But yeah, definitely be persistent like that.
Yeah, correct.
So as far as like mentoring, so I'm sure it's good to see that you're paying it forward, and that's one of the things that I highly recommend for anyone, because mentoring helps a lot when you receive the mentoring, but there's just so much you get out of it when you're helping other people, the good feeling. And when you get those little individual successes, sometimes when you help someone else succeed, it's just even a little more better. And when you mentor people, you can experience success on such a broader level than just on your own. So, what are some current success stories of someone that you've helped mentor that they've accomplished something? If you have anything you'd like to share as far as that goes on someone you've mentored.
um that was the success stories, if you say, there were just team efforts together as part of the community. So there were moments where we had few vouchers of few of very bigger conferences for our members, so they got an opportunity to go in person to that conferences. Even there were some other conferences as well, where we arranged a few vouchers, and there were some members who got an opportunity to reach there as well this year. And apart from that, there are a lot of job opportunities that flows across, and when somebody is in need of that particular job or is searching for that job, and you just hit on the correct time that okay, this is the job. So there were certain other experience. So I would not say it's just my personal win, but it's more of a team win, where everybody worked together to get those things for the members, to get them those opportunities, get them those speaking opportunities. There was recently an Indian conference which happens. It's a great conference, that's KuCon. And there a lot of our members, be it from it's like the membership here for our community is global, so a lot of members actually participated there, and they got a platform for speaking as well, be it part of talks or workshops. They've done both, so that gave them a greater experience of presenting at a conference and the speaking opportunities as well. So these in totality are few experiences, and as well as we offer a lot of speaking opportunities for members as well, where they can go and speak at podcasts or be part of different people's podcasts as well and share their stories there. And the same happens when people speak at different places, talk to different people, and then come back and tell us in the community as well. So that is a give and take. So Megan was really sweet for this, and she's helped a lot of members there in those corners as well. So I really like to give her that shout out.
Mhm.
And apart from that, the major stories that goes without saying is, since I am the mentor for a community, so that portion is in progress. I have few mentees under me, and there we are there I am helping them with different things, of how to get into cybersecurity, how to get those jobs, and things, how to tackle their internships and all, and other opportunities which comes down to their level, so that they could learn more, which they have pitched to me that they want to excel into this particular thing or that ways. So the guidance is in progress. But yeah, eventually I'll have more success stories to share once I proceed more on this mentorship track. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And that's encouraging too. When you can see that you're helping other people out, then it makes you want to do more. And, you know, sometimes it's kind of hard to say no when people need mentoring, but that's good. And we build a culture of mentoring, because back in my early days of my IT career, uh, you know, working at the company I worked at, some of the people that had been in IT longer didn't really share secrets because they felt like it's job security. So if they don't share it, they're not replaceable. They can't get rid of them. And people seem to be that way, but it seems and been my experience that that things are getting away from that. Especially, I'm not sure really how the IT community is here anymore in the US, but I know like security wise, it's a lot of people willing to help others and a lot less gatekeeping now. So building that culture just teaches the people that you've mentored to keep spreading that type of help to others.
Yeah, eventually, the help portion is majorly the mentorship portion, really counts from people to people as well. A few people take security very seriously, and it gets really tough to get those things or interact with them. But fortunately, I've come across a lot of people who have been very kind enough to be more open on that end. So that has gone really smooth for me, that every bits and pieces, the feedbacks, and the shortcomings I had, how to point out and how to get me correct on the track is somewhere I've received a lot from people. So that's something, I take it really positively, that at least I get those feedbacks, and implementing it has been a change for me.
That's good. That's great. Yeah. Speaking of KoCon, I presented there virtually last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
So I got
That
to,
was my first time, yeah.
oh, cool. Yeah. I got to do several. I got one conference coming up, the Red Team Summit that's coming up this weekend,
Yeah.
virtually from India. I'm speaking there. So I hope to go there someday. The first conference I really heard about was NullCon. So I'd like to go for NullCon sometime.
Nalcon, I guess, has a lot of chapters as well. Uh, Once, I guess, I attended one years back, maybe in 2017 or 2018, when I was in New Delhi. So I attended one of the sessions there as well, and I just want to say that I was very new to cyber that time. I wasn't much aware, but when I went there, it was it was almost a medium session for me, that I got few things I understood, okay, and few things just went above my head, that okay, no, not my cup of tea. But there was a great environment they created. They met every week on Sundays, and that was nice. I felt that yes, certain people are very committed to few things, and they're meeting it, on a weekly purpose and learning more. So that was my first experience with that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think they kind of, don't they have isn't there like a B-sides conference going on at the same time? Because the first I heard of it, I was an ambassador for Bug Crowd, and it was like around the time of the RSA conference, and some of the people from Bug Crowd had just come back from NullCon. But I was thinking there was a B-sides conference there around the
Yeah.
same time.
It's besides Delhi, that happens every year, like around October,
Okay.
and that's a greater affair. Yes, a lot of workshops gets organized there. A lot of speakers. Maybe this year again it would have been maybe cancelled or virtual, but yeah, I once attended the in-person one. So that was my first conference also, to mention it, that to attend it in person. I've attended very less in person conferences, and besides Delhi is one of them, and the first of them all. So I got an understanding, okay, how does a conference actually gets organized, and met a lot of people who actually never, I would have never met them anyways if the conferences were never into place. So met a lot of people. I met Vandana there. She was giving her workshop there, so that was one of the experience that I met her there, and a lot of other people as well. So understood the importance of conferences, and thankfully, I know the difference between in person and virtual conference. I can actually mention it there, that in person and virtual conferences have great differences. So yeah.
So have the conferences started in person yet back in your country?
Yes, KubeCon was, I would not say completely in person, it was hybrid.
Okay.
So I presented it virtually, but there were a lot of people who attended the in person thing as well, and they gave great feedbacks that it was really amazing, and people were really excited to meet. Even besides Ahmedabad happened, that was also in person, and a lot other different conferences are now coming in line, and they're making it both hybrid, so that people who can come, can have that experience, following all the COVID rules, obviously. But they're trying to make it hybrid now, going forward, till we're all in the green phase. So
That's good. I'd like to see more conferences continue the hybrid thing, because sometimes people, there may be some conference you want to see in another country and you don't have the time or the money, maybe the budget to travel there. So it's nice to be able to visit those virtually. And then there's also people that don't do well in crowds, or they've got health issues or immunocompromised, and they have to be careful being in crowds. So I think that's been great that people have been able to attend those conferences.
Yeah,
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 it's nice to have that flexibility, just to kind of have all the options.
yeah. And I really miss meeting people, going in person, because I've seen and I have increased my ties a lot so far in this year with a lot of new people. So it gets really exciting to actually meet all of them in person actually. So that is the thing. I also wanted to be more inclusive in person ones, but since the travel is a big thing, so that just comes into the way. But yeah, the hybrid thing actually, works now, that people can actually meet up other people and have that sort of different experience, because this the only experience I have of speaking is at virtual conferences. So I just wanted to just step out of that zone and go to in-person conferences and have that experiences.
Yeah, one of the things I'd say that I like probably best about the in-person conferences is after you speak, the interaction that you can have with the people after you present virtually, whether the conference using Discord or Slack or whatever else, it's okay, but you just really don't get to connect with people. So that's
Yeah,
one of the pieces that I miss.
but uh, that experience is still yet to be explored, and I wish to be part of a lot of in-person conferences maybe next year. So fingers crossed.
So you have any new talks that you've got for next year for conferences?
I have one in January that is for the GDG Deaf Fest Ireland, UK and Ireland one, which got shifted from November. It was meant to be in November, but the Google developers group shifted it to January instead. So that's on 29th January. They were supposed to have it in 2021, but now we'll have it in 2022. And I would be speaking on the topic where I little bit aligned my topic more to what I've done this year. I talked about a lot of sessions on sec DevOps, where I talked more about why to shift security on the first end, why to have it on the early ends of development rather than putting it at a very later stage. So that was more of my topic that I presented in OWASP, and I've also done that at DevSecon 2020 this year. The same is what I'm presenting at the GDG as well, but I've tweaked it a bit. I've done some research because they have given us time as well, because the conference got postponed. So I got some time to actually, brush up some things, what all I could have done for 2 months. So would be presenting that there, and still waiting on for few confirmations as well for different other conferences which are sort of very local here and there. But the bigger ones most probably would be coming down in the second half of the year. So I'm prepping up better for the ones I got rejected this year. So would be putting a lot of efforts there next year. So that is the plan.
That's good. That's a good plan.
How about you guys? What all you're expecting for 2022? Uh, Maybe more on the travel end, or sorry for asking questions, but
No,
yeah,
that's fine.
just
That's
wanted
good.
to
It's fun.
just wanted to understand what are your views or plans on conferences for 2022.
Sure.
How you are planning? Yeah.
I was supposed to speak in person at the SANS Cyber Threat Intel Conference, but that got shifted to virtual. So I'll still be speaking, but it will be a virtual. And then I was rejected from ShmooCon, but I'll be attending. Um, and then I will likely attend RSA. Um, and then later on in the year, I'll be speaking at WESIS about cloud security and healthcare. And then I kind of have a smattering of conferences that I'm looking at conference presentations for and travel. Um, but it could be virtual, could be hybrid or in person. So I'm not sure about all of those. So yeah, to be
Amazing.
determined for later on into the year.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
that's interesting that Sands is going virtual because they just had their pen test hack fest. It must be because the new variant. They're probably siding on that
Hmm.
side of caution, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I was at the Pen Test Hack Fest in person, and I spoke to their organizers, and so yes, it was a abundance of caution. So yeah, that made that for that shift, and I think it was also a timing thing. It was like we have to make the decision now, and we have not enough information to go one way or the other.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to either speak there in person or virtual, and I went ahead and went with virtual. Part of it was just trying to be careful, not travel too much, and then also the budget wise because I'd have to fly there and just trying to you know watch my budget because that can get pretty expensive. In 2019, I did a lot of travel for conferences. I spoke at on a panel at NolaCon for Bug Crowd, and so like 3 nights at a hotel in New Orleans is not cheap, and it was all out of my own pocket, my travel and everything.
Yeah, that adds up quickly.
So speaking of upcoming stuff, that uh, RSA is my next in-person conference to speak at. So I'm looking forward to that. Actually, in 2019, I was there during RSA, but attended B-Sides San Francisco, and that was a really fun B-Sides conference. So I actually we'll get to meet in person if you go to RSA.
That would be awesome.
That
Yeah.
would be
So
cool.
yeah. So I'll keep you posted. It's not 100%. I think it's very likely though. And the person who just posted, yes, Sans 2022 CTI Summit is free. Training, of course, is not. That is absolutely right. Yeah. So you can register. You have to register, but it is free. That is 100% correct.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great plans we have for 2022, and I suppose that we get more leverage there with COVID. That we could have more in person things, maybe in the later half of the year when actually a lot of conferences come into picture. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2022 so that I make it more in person as compared to 2021. So that's what I expect, and I just want to have that experience. So. Uh, to count for. I really look forward to 2022 for in-person ones more. So yeah,
Yeah, I was lucky. I got to go to three this year. They were all like in October and November. They were in Texas, but looking forward to something on the national level because at least when you go to like RSA and DEF CON and that stuff, there's usually people from around the world too. So that's good.
yeah,
Always enjoy opportunities to get to meet my connections, my Twitter and LinkedIn connections. So that's one of my favorite things. So I spend more time at conferences networking and talking to people than I do sitting in talks.
yeah. That's the greater thing what you can get out of conferences, that you actually meet a lot of people that you know, but you actually meet a lot of people that you don't know, but you really get excited meeting them. So the networking is the strongest portion that you can get out of these conferences. So really look forward to 2022, that it just transforms what we have seen in 2021.
Yeah, and that's just the key to the networking piece. Always be networking because I've gotten opportunities to speak at other conferences, to do workshops and stuff from talking to people at conferences. So since 2019, I've been doing workshops, sometimes speaking, but doing workshops for B-Side San Antonio. And I'd met the coordinator for B-Side San Antonio at Texas Cyber Summit. And then at Texas Cyber B-Side San Antonio in 2019, I talked to the guy that runs Texas Cyber Summit, and he had something coming up. So always be networking and stuff. I congratulated someone recently on a job and had a possible job opportunity. It didn't work out, but it was kind of interesting. I congratulated someone on LinkedIn, and they say, "Hey, by the way, would you like to come to work for me?" So I mean, it's just always, if you're networking, there's always opportunities out there that you just don't know about. Sometimes it's just a matter of talking to someone at the right time. So back to that networking thing.
Yeah, you never know
Yeah,
what one thing's going to lead to another thing.
Hmm.
And I think that that's one of the things where, like, going back to being at a conference in person, where those just random conversations that you might have in like when you're in LineCon, you know, it's like that can lead to something that you just wouldn't have known. And sometimes like those happen in a Slack channel as well. So they are kind of recreated somewhat in the hybrid model, but I think there's a lot of it that also happens in the in-person piece to it. So yeah.
Yeah, because that was like at DEF CON in 2019. I believe it was 2019. I was talking to someone that was working in the IoT village, and we kept running into each other. And I said, "Hey, funny seeing you here again, or whatever." And I got invited to their party. They had a party at a mansion there in Vegas, and I got invited to that. Just talking,
Yep.
networking. It's just amazing what opportunities come up.
You never know.
That's also like when I was a Bug Crowd ambassador. I was there in San Francisco. They brought several of the ambassadors out there, and I got to talk to the CEO and the marketing VP for Bug Crowd, and then they invited me to do a webinar series for them. And so, if I hadn't been there, hadn't been talking, hadn't been networking, I would have never got that opportunity. And it turned into, me doing my own podcasts and streaming and stuff that I might have not done without that experience.
Yeah. Different people actually give us different sort of opportunities, be it big or small. I've also come across a lot of people, like I've been networking a lot over the years, and with that there came an opportunity where I was part of Cyberlife as well, organized by Ken Underhill. So that was also a major portion that one gets involved with other person's uh, the new work they have started is something that is really great for me to be inclusive there, or somebody is starting their podcast, or somebody is starting their virtual channel where they want to talk about different things with different people, get that experiences. So that really helps with that networking portions when you talk and be more inclusive in the industry and network a lot of people. So there comes different opportunities with every day of your conversations. So that's been the major part that I haven't uh, left, actually networking. That's something very very crucial and important for me, that I have to network, that I have to connect with people, talk to them, know what they're doing. So that something helps me go around, or just having virtual coffees for like 20-25 minutes and getting to know other people, what they're actually doing. I guess I've done a few times with few members of my community. I've done it with Megan, I've done it with few other members, and that has actually helped me with things that what other people are doing, things they will do or they have done, and how they are perceiving it. So that gives a greater level of picture, and I get to know a lot of people as well, professionally as well as a little bit personally as well, just by sitting in front of cameras. So that really helps to know, because I guess that's the only way left now to network with people, know people actually. So yes,
Yeah.
See,
networking is the key.
so we spoke a lot on networking. So what are some of your education goals for 2022? Is there any kind of new skill that you want to learn?
I am just planning for my post graduation 2022, and I am planning to move out of India technically, and get that degree in cybersecurity, especially. Because I consider classroom knowledge gets you more practically, what all things flows across, and you understand more. And it's been just, I did my bachelor's in 2017, I just graduated in 2017. So it's been a long gap that I have been prepping up, that I will do it this year, and it has gone a lot pending. So I was planning to move to Canada actually, and to get that degree and to study there, get that sort of culture, because I have grown up in India only. So I want to learn more, because there are great institutions, and it's just for me that I always wanted to go there and study there. So that's my plan technically for 2022, to have that thing. Plus, for the education part more, I am exploring on my research ends of security to learn more. So it's something that I've started, that I would learn more about MITRE attack. And probably by middle of this year, like middle of next year, I would want to present certain pieces on it, and train myself more on that end and present it at places. So that's the plan in totality for what I want to spread for 2022. But hopefully they all go well in the positive directions only.
Yeah, I think you're going to do well. I think you seem
Thank
like
you.
you have the talent to get there. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Philip.
it's a great set of goals, and maybe you'll be Philip's insider in Canada to help him reach his goal for presenting at a Canadian conference.
Yeah, maybe she'll be on the CFP board.
Yeah, maybe you will be.
Say this guy's American, but he's not that bad.
Hmm.
I would really love to be, on that ends. Perfect. I can be that, I can be that help, but it's just, uh, what we plan is actually somewhere down the line COVID just takes it away from us. So it's just, I'm planning, my fingers are crossed actually, that uh, the the things just go as we have planned. So that just doesn't happens for like 2021, it did not. And same, I am thinking about 2022, that that at least goes well. So let's see if the the pandemic and everything allows for 2022 to go off smoothly.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I have another friend that moved from India. I guess around the first part of this year or towards the end of last year, he moved to Canada to go to school.
Perfect. Now I have a lot of friends there, and it's not like a country where I don't know people, but yeah, it's just stepping out of your comfort zone. That's the major challenge here. That you have spent a lot of years in India, and then you somewhere down the line go to a different country for your schooling. So everything gets really challenging and very overwhelming. So that is why the years that I've taken, for prepping myself up. So that's the portion. But yeah, let's see what happens in 2022.
Oh, very exciting. So what? So your parents, how do they feel about you going away to school?
Obviously they're not at all happy sending me away, like typical Indian parents. But yeah, somewhere down the line, took me time, they understood the importance, and gradually they got a hold of what actually is the difference she's talking about. And what sort of learnings and interactions, and what all sorts of experiences she would get there would be something beneficial for her at the end. So it took me time, but eventually it's at a positive end. So
Very cool. I know I would be tough for me if my daughter moved to a different country for school.
I know.
That's kind of part of the reason I don't move away from where I'm at. I stay in Texas because my daughter's not that far away, and I don't want to be that far away from her. But that's good that you're doing that because it's always good to get experiences in other places, and I think it looks good on your resume when you're going to work somewhere, so you're not letting region dictate where you work. So that's good.
Yeah. And also, my parents were also like, the time zone gets really funny at times. So within Canada as well, it's a lot of different time zones being followed.
Yep.
So eventually, I guess everybody gets a hold of it. For me also, with my firm, it's the Australian time zone, and with my team members and everything here on the community, and it's more on the US end. So there are a lot of time zones in US as well, which I have also got hold of eventually, and that gets really confusing for me. Okay, it's EST, then it's the Pacific time, Central time, Mountain time. So that gets confusing at times. That I thought that this session was because it's 15 December here in India, so
Hmm.
it gets really confusing at times, that uh, technically it was supposed to be 14th, but yes, it's 15th here in
Yeah.
India. So that sort of markings there, to get that is something I really used to get confused in the very starting days of my career, but eventually got hold of it. Okay, I have to accept that there are a lot of time zones one has to follow.
So it's like Megan and I are getting to talk to you in the future.
Yes. Yeah, you've already seen the next day.
Yeah.
Well, I think you
So
even messaged me and you're like, "Oh, like I'll see you like later on for
tomorrow.
something tomorrow." And I was
Yeah.
like, "For today."
Yeah.
I was just about to sleep and I just texted her that I'm really excited for tomorrow. And I later thought that maybe she would have thought, why tomorrow? Is she considering it 15th December? But yeah, the time zones are quite funny at times. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that can get kind of crazy. I've worked with global teams and then speaking at virtual conferences, just trying to get connected in the right place, because sometimes you just don't understand some of the time zones, even some of the European time zones. You don't know where people are at, so that can get kind of difficult to navigate. So we've spoke a lot about security, data science, and education. So what do you do for fun? What do you do when you just want to, are there any kind of hobbies or things that you enjoy doing outside of education and technology?
Currently, like, this is like the Christmas New Year period, so that's my ritual since few years that I've started is I watch one Christmas movie every day. So that's my fun part. So it's just I start very early for my office. It's around 7:30, and I end up at 4 or 5 in the evening. And post that I just rush back to my laptop, and then I open a movie on Netflix or any other platform, and I just watch one Christmas movie every day, and till Christmas and New Year. So that's my thing, and that I really love about. And there are like there are great movies spread across. So that's the fun portion that I do during this month. And apart from that, reading books is something that's really has helped me through the years to be more on the, I don't like the digital books much, but more on the hard copies as well. That's my thing.
Looks like you're you're
Yeah.
you're preaching to the choir. I can see there, Megan. So,
Yeah. And yeah, Philip, go on.
oh, so that's cool. So, do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Like yesterday I just watched one which was Christmas in the Wild, and that's movie where she celebrated Christmas with a lot of elephants. And it was both a movie on Christmas and on the poachers. So that's a message there from the movie itself, and that's a really really great movie. And I really loved it. So that's what I watched yesterday, and maybe what I watched today is something I don't know. But so far, I have found I really liked a lot of Christmas movies. There are no favorites as such because it's so Christmassy. It just gives a lot of vibe, and you know. Really love watching them every day with any snack and sitting and enjoying Christmas in those ways. So that's the tradition I follow for December with myself. And all around the corner, like all around the year, I just watch a lot of series. Like just recently, I completed Money Heist, the latest one, and Squid Game and everything. So I am on track with the digital ends as well. That I watch a lot of things. I'm a big time Potterhead.
Oh,
I
cool.
love Harry. I love Harry Potter, and that's it. I like watching movies, or just going out with my parents for a coffee. So it's like random days in the evenings. I'm done with my work, and then I just sit back with them, and we just go on for a drive, or ice cream and stuff. So that's the usual stuff I prefer to spend with my family, because it's been a year that I've been staying with them. So that really helps to actually have. And recently I just have got two pets. I've got two kittens, so
Oh, cool.
they take major portion of my time. So it's just about time that they will wake up now. So the entire house would be for them, the area would be for them actually to play along. So they are the new additions to my family, so they are the new fun elements added to our lives. So yeah, the two kittens, movies, books, going out, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a cat person myself too.
Oh, that's
Got
great.
a
I
cat.
was not a cat person. I was always a dog person, but life lands you with cats now. So we have two, not even one, we have two cats. And now let's see how. So far, they've been very great. We've been enjoying, but let's see what happens.
So we actually have someone on from Canada.
Oh, perfect. Hello. Good.
Well, we're down towards the end of the show. Is there anything you'd like to say or share with the viewers?
I would want to, and that I've said across a lot of platforms, really, that I have faced a lot of challenges in my career when part of cyber, and there were a lot of challenges. It's just, I want to say this out loud, that never stop. Just keep on learning through yourself. If you do not get any sort of support or anything, reach back to either of us on the screen, and you would get those sort of help. Any sort of opportunities, anything would not land up in one day. You just have to brush up your skills. Just That's the crux of what I want to say, is never stop with your learning. Keep that learning on, and eventually opportunities would land up. You will make opportunities for yourself actually. And that's something I've learned so far into this industry, that you have to network a lot. You have to keep track of a lot of things you have done, and how you can improve them to bring out the better change in you. And speaking at different conferences, speaking at different webinars, or being part of podcast is something which will give you a next level boost. And you can learn from different people as well, coming down to different platforms. And then somewhere down the line you would understand the essence of actually the communities and how they groom you. So be more inclusive in communities. You get a lot of learnings out from there, you get a lot of opportunities out from there, which somewhere grooms you as well, and gives you an opportunity to give out to different people as well, who are new, who have struggled, or who have same sort of issues that you once faced. So you can help them there and make them come out of it. So just help, and just never stop learning.
Great advice. So, thanks for joining us. You did an awesome job. It was good to get to know you a little bit better. Sometimes you're connected to people on LinkedIn or Twitter, and you just until you actually have a conversation, text just doesn't always really sum up what a person's like. So, you did an awesome job. Thanks for joining us, and thanks Megan for helping me host the stream tonight. And are there any parting words that you'd like to share?
I mean, I would absolutely agree. I mean, really so much of it is just continuing. There will be failures, but that's okay. Keep trying those different things. If you're looking for resources for 11th grade, I would suggest Khan Academy. I used to be a STEM educator, but I don't teach 11th and 12th graders anymore. So there's all sorts of resources out there. But yeah, just keep trying all sorts of different things. And, think about setting goals. Really think about what those different goals are. And if you're someone who needs external accountability and not internal accountability, because each person's different, if you need external accountability, figure out what you need to help with that external accountability. Is it stating your goals out loud? Is it, coming up with like a group that you meet with and posting those in a chat? But whatever it is, make that happen so that you are able to achieve your goals.
Great advice. And I put up in the social media accounts if you would like to connect with my two guests. And also, if you haven't connected with me yet, here is my information there. And if you hadn't checked out my podcast yet, you should check it out because I have a lot of stories of people getting started in the industry and they share their advice. So you check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great end of the year.